No, and the reason why is because he's so energetic and he's so
Oh, he's energetic, all right. Good
and he's so
morning,
real.
everybody. You started talking before we were even on there.
Yeah, because you want to be real transparent and you don't want to be edited. Bedroom talk is not about being business and professional.
Yes, it
It's
is.
about being real.
We can be real professional. No,
But I'm just saying
I
it's
know
it's
what you mean.
bedroom talk.
I know.
You know, it's bedroom talk. So it's what you talk about in private, you put out in the open. And like my cousin Malik says, let's talk about it. And like
That's true.
Ernest Keith, let's keep it real.
Mm.
Because professionals can't be themselves on a professional level. Business people can't be business people outside of business. So you still want to be personal with the people. You still want to. This is not a reality show where it is leading up to that.
It is a
But
reality show.
but at the same time, it's reality. It's not scripted at all. That's why we come on here and we
Well, that's
basically
true too.
talk about
Even
anything.
reality shows, a lot of that is set up. Not even if it's not scripted, they're directed at a
Yeah,
certain level. You know, all them fights ain't real.
yeah,
All of that nonsense that they do to make ratings and to get people to be like, "Who did you see when she said blah blah blah?" And I mean, a lot of that, because I wonder sometimes if those people would ever really talk like that if they weren't getting paid. If they weren't getting paid and wined and dined and all the stuff they get to do, would they really talk to people like that? But
well, yeah. Some of them probably would.
well, you know, I mean, I just think
You
it's
got some
ridiculous.
arrogant people in this world.
I get that. I get that.
When you deal with a lot of people that's very arrogant and think it's basically social media has took a toll on people to where, if you're doing something within life, if you're making a career in your life and people upon social media sees what you're doing and they start connecting with you, it builds up an ego to where it affects other people who knew you or know who you are. So social media created a whole new avenue of I'm the man, I'm the woman, you ain't on my level type deal. Because
I
you gotta
mean,
look at it
you
more
think
than
social media did that, or was that always around?
it wasn't as big, because you gotta look at it. There's certain people in the city that know you, but there's certain people that see what you're doing. But social media has made it to where people really see what you're doing all across the world.
Well, that's true, and I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying?
I take advantage of that. That we
Yeah.
can connect to people all over the world.
But we don't. But the thing about it is, you don't build arrogant. You're not arrogant, towards people. You might connect with people all over the world, but you know how to treat people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not about my ego when I connect to all those people around the world. I started so much. I'm tell how much name to close this door. I forgot all about that. But anyway, I started in social media.
Hold the door.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. Oh, I got it the wrong way. Hold on, everybody. We're gonna. My son is
Chantel
in the.
and Venus on there.
Good
Venus is
morning, Venus. Good morning, Chantel. He's gonna run and close the door because my son is just playing video games, and you can hear it all through the doggone house. Anyway, I started in social media mostly because I was looking for answers for the health of my children, and so I had a purpose and a mission. I wasn't on there to play games. I was quick to say, look, block this, block that. I needed to connect. I had a son that was very, very ill. Good morning. I had a son that was very, very ill. He had started to have seizures. He had started to just faint around 7, 8 years old. And so social media became the way that I could help diagnose him, that I could help. Close the door, close the door, close one of the doors. You know, one of the doors, one of the ways that I could, here he is, running back, that I could, why does that look so fuzzy? But anyway, it was a way for me to find out answers, to help my son get diagnosed, which actually took a little more than 3 years to diagnose him. But if it wasn't for the internet, if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't even have known what direction to go in. And I come across that all the time with mothers who are still searching for answers in order to help their children. So I became somewhat of a disability advocate because I have a love for research, and I have a love for connecting people with their answers. We called it Q&A, but I didn't even think about it that way. People come to my inbox on a regular basis with all sorts of questions. Judy, do you know how to do this? And it could be mostly pertaining to disabilities, Social Security Administration, filing, appealing, different things like that. But I love being able to find those answers. So that's how social media and I became connected. So I was never there about how many likes I got. It was never about how many friends I could acquire. It was always about, let me connect you to the right information. Let me be part of a group where you could learn more about whatever it is that you are dealing with. I mean, I'm over 100 groups, and most of them do have to deal with conditions or diseases or disorders. But it's important that I help people feel like they're not out here by themselves. You know what it's like to, I had a healthy son. He was born 10 pounds, 2 ounces. He was huge, okay? And he was healthy until about 7 years old. Mm-hmm. And so, it's like to suddenly have a child fall sick. Not that they were born that way. Fall sick, and you have no idea, and everybody's thinking you're crazy, or you're doing something to your kid, or he's faking and lying. And you're like, no, this kid is starting to blank out on us, and we need to find answers. So I cannot imagine letting another parent go through that. I just can't imagine that, because it's a fearful situation. And so that's how I use social media. So all of the stuff that people do now, it over my head, like water on a duck's back. I don't even pay attention to it, because I'm more interested in getting up in the morning. I just shared, if you go to my page, I just shared a memory where I told people, do not give up on your dreams. I don't care what it may look like. I don't care what it may seem or what people may tell you. If it doesn't seem right, if you feel like you're supposed to go further, keep going. Keep going. And that's been my motto for years, raising 2 boys on the autism spectrum. Do not allow anybody to set the limits for you. You set them. You decide. You and God.
And I think that's what helped me, because as much as my family deleted me from Facebook because of something I said, or how I be posting, and things like that, social media has helped me out a whole lot. Now there's some fake social media friends, which I talked about yesterday, how a lot of them are comfortable in the Charlotte area, especially, just being a Facebook friend or a Facebook family member, and not being personal with the person.
Right.
Like they look at people on the outside and say, you're judging me, or you're blah, 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 and they don't really get to know you and who you are. So, you have people like that that just are comfortable with, just seeing, well, let me see what Brandon doing, let me see what Chuck is doing.
Yeah, it's entertainment
on social media.
It's so casual. It's not deep.
Yeah.
And I tell people now, if you see me in public and we're Facebook friends and I don't necessarily recognize you, or I don't acknowledge you right away, that's because we probably only see each other on Facebook, and I'm just scrolling. But I really want to get to know people. To me, it's important to get to know people, because before I met you, I had some 600 friends, and now I'm nearly at 2,000, and a lot of those people are here in Charlotte, but I don't know them well, if I pass them on the street because I'm not expecting to see them, I'm probably just going to walk right by you. And that's me, people.
And
Please don't put it, what they say, put it to my head, not my heart. I don't ever mean to just disregard or ignore people. I don't do, I'm not that kind of person.
you
But
just don't know who you are
I don't know
because
who
you're
you
not
are
personal.
deeply. And
And
if you change your hairstyle, women, oh my God, I don't forgot what you look like. I'm like, wait. Focus on an eye, a nose, or something, then that might bring it back. But then there's just so many names that we go through on a daily basis. I mean,
yeah,
it's like,
I know who some of them are.
oh, don't
But
even
the
go
thing
there. You
about
are
it
so
is,
much better than I am.
okay, but this is the point though. Like, I know who they are, right? But a lot of them know who I am as much as I post, and they'll walk right by me. Unless I say something, I give them a flyer or something, then they'll say, you know, we Facebook friends, you know, or whatever. I know you through Facebook. But I'm like, you know, if I wouldn't have came up and talked to you, would you have even acknowledged
Acknowledge.
who I was? You know, I bet you I walk past many people. I bet you I work with some of my Facebook friends. You know, and it's sort of like, okay, well, I understand because it's social media, so that's the type of fakeness and arrogance that social media has brought because everybody feels you if you got 5,000 friends, you the man or you the woman. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody touch you because I got 5,000 Facebook friends or I got 2,500 Facebook friends. You know, and it's deeper than that. You know,
It's
I
a
can
lot
even
deeper.
talk about Magic. You know, my daddy and his daddy went to the same college, Morehouse College. But when I met Magic, we was doing the North Star thing, and that's when I was performing and stuff like that. But Magic was with Power 98. Magic ain't never carried himself like he was arrogant. He ain't never carried himself like he had it all together. He ain't never carried himself like he on the lake. He in Lake Norman. He on the in the water, right? He ain't never carried himself like I'm better than you. He ain't never. He was always real. If he wanted to speak from the heart, he spoke from the heart. It wasn't like when I told him when I invited him somewhere. If he can make it, he can make it. If he ain't feel like doing it, he ain't feel like doing it. Now this a radio DJ and personality who cuts all over the club, who scratches all over the club. Even now doing pornographic stuff. DJ Magic, you ain't met him yet. The real DJ Magic. But my point is that he still always kept it real with me, and that's why we've been tight ever since. That's why every time I need advice, I can go to Magic, I can go to Jay Prag, I can go to J-No. You know, I can go to these people because they knew me way before social media. And they ain't never, I can go to Tone. They ain't never carried themselves and just pushed me away like, you know, I wasn't never talking about nothing. You know, so people like that are real genuine people and real loving people. Now, he might not be there where God wants him to be yet, but you can tell that God is with him somewhere and he wants to apply his life to God in some way. But see, social media has brought it to where there's so much distraction going on that people leave, that arrogance takes over what God wants them to do within their lives.
I agree. I agree.
So, you know, we got to watch how we do on social media. We got to watch, you know, the how we treat people. We got to watch, you know, just watch out for, you know, your just being arrogant. I don't like arrogant
He does
people.
not like arrogance.
And you know, I want to put a lot of people in their place and call a lot of people out. But then at the same time, I really don't want to burn no bridges.
Well, it's also
But
not
then
worth it.
sometimes it's best to burn bridges. You know, Judy was talking to me one time. I was working at this job, and still is when I want to, right? but
It's crazy.
but Judy was talking, and I was telling her how I want to walk out. I just want to leave, and never look back. Leave, leave, leave. She say, never burn a bridge.
I
And
don't know if I would say that, but I probably said, be careful.
yeah, you don't
Of
want to
what?
burn that
Burn
bridge
that
because
bridge,
if you
make
want to
sure.
go back, if you want to go back, you're not able to go back because of how you left, right? But sometimes it's best to burn that bridge. Sometimes it's good to burn that bridge because I can speak for me when you're vulnerable, when you're gullible, when you're easygoing, people feel that they can run all over you any kind of
It's
way
true.
at
It's true.
any time. So if you come off like you crazy, you come off like you ain't got no sense.
No good sense.
Yeah. If you come off like you a nutcase, then those same people that thought they could run over you don't want to come back because they don't know what to expect the next go round. So sometimes, burning a bridge ain't the worst thing in the world.
Well,
Now, but it is a way that you burn the bridge. I agree. It is a way that you leave the bridge burning, never look back.
no,
You
you
know,
know what I want to say? I'm just
what?
saying that you make that discernment. You make that choice. Because there's some bridges that I burned from New York, Maryland on down that I will never cross that person's door, or they definitely won't be crossing mine. We just went through that experience on Sunday where I can tell you I've already shook the dust off of my sandal, my shoe, whatever I had on, to a bunch of people that I will never. I couldn't say any. I couldn't fix my face to say anything good. So that bridge is gone. You don't have to worry about me ever crossing it again. So my thing is, when I see people just do somebody wrong, I have a very strong sense of justice. When I see people being done wrong, okay, I don't have a problem with, I'm going to get you, I'm going to fix you, and I'm going to burn that bridge, and I don't have a problem with it because you know you did something wrong. See, I won't just come up to burn a bridge because I don't like you. I don't have that personality. I just don't like you. No, I got to have a reason. And trust, believe the reason I get, if I get one, it will be justified. It will be very justified in the reason I don't like you. And what I'm saying is I don't like your behavior. You may change your behavior in the future. But right now, as for right now,
Right now.
we're not even dealing with you. So, there's nothing wrong with burning a bridge. If you do something wrong, if there's, I have, like I said, strong sense of justice, fairness, I'm like, enough of that. You're not going to have the ability to do that in my presence. I was that kind of kid growing up. You couldn't bully people around me. You could.
Yeah.
There's a story that with my sisters on here. There was a story that they were trying to beat up on my brother, and he's 4 years older than me. And they said I was 5 years old, and I saw them trying to chase my brother down the street, and I started picking up rocks. Now you got to remember, I'm 5. Nobody curses in my house, but I knew I heard a curse word one time, and I thought it was basket, okay? So I'm just going to say basket. And I started at 5 years old throwing these rocks, calling you baskets.
Oh,
You
basket.
better leave. You know what the
Basket.
word was. You better leave my brother alone. They said they had to drag me in the house because I became so angry at these people who were 4 to 5 years older than me, mind you. But they said they had to drag my little butt, scrawny little butt. I was kind of scrawny as a kid, in the house and help me calm down because I got so angry at the injustice. So my thing is, I'm one of those justice leader people. I'm one of them. I'm a stand up for somebody. I'm gonna, I can tell you another occasion as a child. I had a friend and she was a plus size girl. You know how people like to make fun of plus size people. And basically, she was getting off the bus, and I got off first. She got up behind me, and I heard these people snicker and say something. And I saw the way her face, man, her face just fell. She started crying. I got back on that bus, and I said, anybody got something to say? I think I was about probably couldn't have been more than 13. I said, anybody got something to say? It got real quiet. And the bus driver's like, look, young lady, you need to get off the bus. I get off this bus when I'm ready to get off this bus. Does anybody else have something to say? And then I said, and I didn't think so. And I stood there, counted to 10. Bus driver's like, I'm going to come back there and get you. Come on back here and get me, because I want anybody else to say something to my friend again. That's the kind of person I am. I'm that kind of person. Protective, big mama bear protective. So, you know, I'll burn that bridge if you act up. If you do something wrong, I will burn it. I'll be like, let me come and check you one good time. Because my thing is, that's the way our Father in heaven is, okay? He's a just God. He's not a God that allows really stuff to go on. You may not always see when he comes with his vengeance, but trust and believe he comes. And he will not allow the weak, or, you know, he always says he's there, the God of the fatherless and the widow. He's there for those who cannot take care of themselves. We're supposed to do it, and when we don't, he sees when we don't. So, you know, my thing about the egos, you know, your day is coming, because my feeling is this. You can't stand proud before God. He is the only thing that's going to be proud and set on high is himself. So you go ahead and act big if you want to. But I've seen a lot of people tumble on back down. I really have. And then my thing is, depending on when you tumble down, how your mood is, I might come in there and say, hey. And they'd be like, well, weren't you the one that just, yeah, because I don't like your behavior. But God loves you and died for you. So when you get your comeuppance, when you get yourself straight, I'm not going to still keep condemning you, because that's not God's way either. It's so funny, but he prunes us. He does a lot of things in order to get us to be right in our mind and in our behavior. And so my thing isn't to just condemn you. That's the difference that I tell people. Do I judge you? Oh, yeah, I might. But I don't condemn you. I'm not here to condemn you. I ain't got to heaven. You. No, because you, like you said, you ain't got a heaven or hell to put people in.
Yeah, but I definitely ask God to put you in hell. You know, I definitely tell you to go to hell.
What am I going to do with you? You can like tell them, God, get them.
Get them straight in hell. You know, because it's your spirit is basically off. It's you know, a lot of people, when I talk about the spirit, they think I'm in another planet or something like that, right?
Well, I never did.
You know, but I'm just saying a lot of people don't understand about their spirit. But that spirit, when that spirit rubs off on you, when somebody's spirit just rubs off on you the wrong way, it's a major effect. You ain't even got to talk to the person. The person can just be around you. The person could just be right there sitting beside you, or right there just standing beside you, or anything. And that spirit, soon as they say hello or something, that spirit just rubs off on you in the wrong way, and it can affect you for the rest of your day. You could be thinking about something else. It could be water under the bridge or whatever, but that spirit just rubs off on you. And you like, dog, where did I get this from? And when you really think deeply about it, you realize that it was a person that was around you 30 minutes ago, or earlier within that day. So just with arrogance and open about arrogant and open. They ain't necessarily got to say, like we heard the other day, I'm the owner at this place. I'm this, I'm that. But you can just tell that they're very arrogant about where they are in life, or you know, how they are. How they carry themselves. You can just tell that they're arrogant. Even on social media. You ain't got to meet them a day in your life, but from the posts or whatever, you can tell it's deep, deep arrogance. And I think mainly, and I don't want to jump on it, but that's why a lot of them don't support Single, Saved, and Serious. Because it's arrogance. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's a couple of reasons. I mean, like I said, with your family, Prophet never has any honor in his own hometown, on his own land. You know, like I said, people saw you from when you were little, and then they saw that you didn't go to college, and that you didn't.
I didn't finish college.
You didn't finish college. You didn't aspire to be some corporate America person. So how could you suddenly run this and run that and create that? So I get that a lot of that. But the arrogance also is their fight against God. Sometimes it ain't got nothing to do with you. Sometimes you sitting there being the light. You sitting there being the light in the world, salt in the earth. And they're like, I don't want to deal with God right now. I'm going to tell you the honest truth. My brother, who right now co-pastors churches and lead. The other day they were talking about my brother sang and led the choir. And I was like, I could never see my brother as a choir director. But had you met my brother in his 20s, he wouldn't have stepped foot to you. He was so running from God. He wouldn't even go into church. Like, he was going to burst into flames the minute he walked through the door. He would not go to a church. He would not go to anything that was church related. He didn't like that because it made him think of his own soul situation. So you got people out there who don't want to see a cross. They don't. In fact, remember, that's how the dude came off. Well, I know there's some people out here that I know this is about God. But I got people who don't want to see none of this. Okay, really? Is it that bad? Are they literally? Are they going to start smoking and steaming so we hit them with some holy water and the demon's going to jump off of them?
No, what in the world? Several places where people could come in and they hear gospel, because we play gospel at secular venues like restaurants, bars and grills, clubs and everywhere outside of the church grounds. That's what we bring the gospel to. So there are people that came in there and, just open to the public. We open to the public, right? We don't make anybody that comes in feel uncomfortable. Matter of fact, the people who just come in sometimes are just walk by. If they're walking by, we invite them in and bring them on in.
Sometimes they stay
and have a good time.
Yeah.
They drink a beer. A lot of them drink beer and liquor and everything. A lot of them just come in and sit at the bar and not pay any attention to what's going on. So, old boy just didn't have understanding of what was going on.
I've seen that. We've seen that before, where people will come in, hear the word of God, and be like, and go running. I always think it's funny. I'm like, okay, here they go, there they go. Before they might actually catch a bit of a Holy Spirit, they may actually have to confront their own soul condition. So, you got, for various reasons, then, people don't always get and understand your vision. You got to understand that. You have decided. You know how many times I get asked, what church do y'all go to?
Well, that's because people, and that's the sad part about it. If you say you're a Christian, you got to be connected to a church.
To a specific church.
And the church grounds, if you look at it with these churches, and I know people get mad, I know pastors get offended, I know church people get offended, but anybody can walk in and out of the church. Anybody can serve 24/7 in the church, and it's sometimes it's good. It depends on the person, because if a person is battling or struggling with something, and they feel that it's a need to stick in church or stay in the church because they don't want to go back into feeling comfortable around the world or surrounded by people of the world, so they just connect in and out of the church doors as much as possible and click with those people because they're scared to click with other people because of certain spirits that might be around, so they're comfortable in their comfort zone. But you're dealing with people who basically can relate to any and everybody in some way, right? So in some way we relate to any and everybody. I can go back to Lewisburg, and I don't know if anybody from Lewisburg is on here that went to school with me, but that was a diverse, predominantly white college, right? JUCO college. And when I was there, it wasn't nothing but the boondocks. It was something that I ain't used to. A bunch of woods. Somebody was picking at me about that the other day, like, how I can't handle but so many woods, but this was like in a secluded area, and you had nothing but woods. You couldn't walk to the store. I'm used to having a store where you can walk to. Used to walking somewhere, but you were so secluded and outside of the area that there was nowhere to go. You had to have a vehicle in order to drive. In order to go where you needed to go, right? And so I wasn't used to that, but I had to make fun. I had to make it interesting, and I had to make it fun. Whether I was the school clown, and everybody said, come around Chuck and be entertained. Like, I'm gonna enjoy my day with Chuck, or however, because I know you're gonna do something stupid or something crazy or act a fool, and that type of thing. But I had to make it fun, and so when I went there, I saw all different types of cultures. I saw the Indians, I saw Hispanics, I saw whites, and I clicked with everybody. Because I could relate to white people because I went to predominantly white schools growing up, right? So I could relate to them, but I couldn't relate to them outside of Charlotte. These are people from all over the world that had different backgrounds. But I had to find a way in order to communicate with all of them, in order to build a friendship with everybody. I just wasn't around these people just all day 24/7. I was around this group, this group, this group, this group. I was around all different types of people, all different of different backgrounds and ethnicity. So that's how I am. And so when I that's why I get frustrated with church and stuff like that, because I see the cliquishness.
Well, no, we're going to call it what it is. Church, what they say, Sunday is one of the most segregated days of the week. Let's just be real. Charlotte has nearly 900 churches. How many of them are culturally diverse? How many of them will celebrate different cultures? So don't just say that they're cliquish, because that's not even it. We could go ask the questions, are you Baptist? Are you this? I said, we don't do that. We are the body of believers. If you believe in Jesus Christ, I don't care if you feel like shouting or you feel like just being quiet. We act like this, there's one way to get to God through Jesus Christ, but there's not one way to praise him. There's not one way to worship him. Okay? There is not one way for us to represent him, because he says we're all part of the body.
Yeah.
Okay, and so when you
One
go to that
body,
scripture,
many members.
Many members, he compares it to a body. Can we all be hands? Can we all be feet? So you can be Baptist over there, you can be Methodist over there, you can be Lutheran, you can be Presbyterian. I'm not going to see that, because when God looks up, he sees the body of believers. He's looking to see if you have a personal relationship with his son in order to connect to him. That's what he's looking for. He is not looking to see
how
these people like to run around. And I found that out when I was in college too, because that was the first time that I had gone to a Roman Catholic church. And I'm not going to get into a discussion about Roman Catholicism, but I am going to say is that I went to this church, and that father, they call him father, that man was so humble and so deep and so loving. And I said, Heavenly, I felt such a presence. I mean, not just, I felt it like I had a tingle, but I felt at home. I felt at home in this thing. And I said, you know what, Heavenly Father, you're going to be calling. He said, from every tribe, tongue, nation, I'm going to be calling forth my people. Well, if he's already telling you it's going to be different tribes, different languages, and different nations, we are not all going to look and act the same. And so my thing is, as he draws people, all Single Saved and Serious does for single people, all the CLE does for everybody. Our Christian Lounge experiences are for everybody.
But even somewhat Single Saved and Serious, because like I explained yesterday on my Facebook Live, a lot of married couples, and this is a part of arrogance too, because the reason why quiet and arrogance, you got quiet arrogance, and you just got outright arrogance. So Q&A is basically quiet and arrogant. Right? I just made that up.
I should tell you did.
And I was just thinking the whole time when you talk.
You
So
know
quiet.
what you said.
So quiet
And
and arrogant.
arrogance. Okay.
Okay. So basically, you know, like a lot of people are quiet about their arrogance, and a lot of people are open about their arrogance. But you know, we're not like that. Married people, but some married people have forgotten where they came from, forgotten about
That's
the
the truth.
struggle of being single.
Single.
You
And
know,
there's so much you can give to the single people. And you're right about that. We don't really just say, oh, the singles events are only for single people. We say, look, married allies, I call them our allies, engaged allies, you're not even there yet. You know, literally after we weren't even married 2 weeks, and people were like, oh, you're not going to be doing single savings.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
You
And I
can't talk
talked
about
about
being
that
single
yesterday.
anymore. I was like,
How
I
ignorant are
have
you?
more history still of being single than I do being married to this person. So it's not a switch, people. You don't just click up and all of a sudden everything is now married, married, married. Listen, let's be real. We had a fallout just the other day, did we not? Yesterday?
We have a fallout every day.
No, we don't. We don't fall out, but we have some
Tomorrow
serious.
will probably be you talking about the blended family.
We're talking about the blended family. That was
Okay,
something we were going to talk about.
we're going to
today.
talk about that tomorrow.
We're going to talk about that.
What's tomorrow? Wednesday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday. Sit up.
Okay, but we're going
Sit
to talk about that. We're going to talk about can you hit. Today is just freestyle, quiet and arrogant. But
question and answers.
no, it's
But
quiet
anyway.
and arrogant because ain't nobody asking us no questions. Ain't nobody asking us no
tuned
questions.
in
and
thinking we
nobody-
already had questions.
No, we ain't got no questions. Now you got, you got. Who,
Yes, we
who
have.
I want to ask, LaShonda, as much as you in church, why haven't you come to a single saved and serious
have
event,
mercy.
Shonda Pettis? I called out the other day, so I'm going to keep calling out. Carolyn, you're very supportive. DJ Magic, I know you do the porno thing, but come see what single
Niggas
saved
are
and
really
serious
doing
do
that.
the porno.
Oh my God! No, I ain't gonna. No, there's no judging here. I'll be honest with you. I can't.
Joy Abraham,
'Cause I have
hold
a
on,
very-
hold on.
No, I have a very close family member that called me up to say, if you see my stuff somewhere, please don't judge me. And I'm like, my eyes got as big as saucers. I was like, okay, I love you.
Well, yeah.
I love you.
Some people may think we pornographic
But
right
I'm gonna
now
say
because
right
we
now,
have
I told him, I said, please don't stay in that long. Please, please, please come out. But also, I said, don't. No, this is what I actually told the person, okay? Because I keep it real. I said, first of all, if you're gonna make all that money, set some of that aside. I said, please have a nest egg. Please do not make all that money and then you broke. That's the worst thing you could ever do. So if you're gonna go dabble in that mess, at least put aside some money. I said, secondly, don't forget about your other dreams. Don't forget about the other things you want to do that are not part of that world. And I said, and I'm just going to be praying your time in there is short. Short.
Yeah, but okay, and
You
that's
know,
cool.
and the person was like, oh, I thought you would just completely just stop talking to me. No, it's very rare that I do that. I'm telling you, you got to be doing some really ill stuff for me to just totally burn
Oh,
that bridge.
it's healed. It's healed and it's real.
Okay.
But
We love you.
God
loves you more.
Hell, they might say we have. He might call us in a minute and be like, "Boog, I got something for you,
Ah,
bro.
that's okay, that's okay.
Boog, I got something for you, bro. I
We
see
love
you and
you.
your wife half naked
God
on
loves you
Facebook
more.
Live, and
Jesus.
you've been wanting to do a
No.
marriage site. So
No.
go ahead and do your thing,
No.
Boog. But anyway,
That's okay. We joking. We love you.
Joy Abraham rocked with me the first part of Single Saved and Serious, but nobody came up to my cousin's house for the surprise for basically the private invite, whatever. And I ain't never heard from her
your
since.
cousin Trino been on here with us almost every day. I'm like, Trino, cool. I love it. You know what I'm saying? Share it. Let people know that you got two crazy people on here just talking out
No,
in
he
the
just
bedroom.
rubbing that up in the family face because the family don't support us. That's all that is.
You know why your family don't support you?
They don't support him either.
Well,
Outside his brother and his sister, but
they don't support you because, one, you're different. I told you this the other day. You showing them up. You going out here being a janitor and now CEO, founder, creating a movement, and that shows them up, you know. But secondly, not everybody going to get you. You realize, and I've met a good portion of your family. I ain't met everybody, but I've met a good portion of the family. And they tend to do things very traditional. Very traditional. You go to school, you go to college, you get the good government job, you get, we go to a trip once a year. They do very traditional things. You are the most out of the box. There ain't no box, people. There's no box whatsoever. You are the most out of the box, let me try this risk-taking person. And that is not easy to understand. Then they can't pigeonhole you. You know what I'm saying? They can't, oh, well, we know he's going to be this way. Because you change up in a heartbeat on some folk. So it's like they don't know how to relate to you. It's not out of...
They don't understand me.
They don't get you, honey.
Okay,
They just don't get you.
That's something they got to deal with, ain't it? That's something
When you
that
see
they
that's
got
why
to
they
live
be
with.
they be unfriending him. I'm like, dang.
That's something that they got to live with. I mean, like I said, a lot of people think just because we cousins and I don't get into that, just 'cause Facebook friends and I'm happy. I haven't deleted one person that offended me on Facebook. As many people that say single, saved, and stupid, as many people that put my name
That's
out
my
there.
favorite one. Single, saved, and delirious.
Yeah, single, saved, and delirious. Key, all of that stuff that they said about me. I ain't never deleted not one person. I let people, when Judy and Jennifer got upset, when people were downing me and trashing me and stuff like that, and people were telling me to delete this person, delete that person, I ain't delete them. You know why? Because why delete them when a year from now they might think differently than what they do now? When I was two years ago from when some of my family members who still brag about deleting me, I done grown so much and did so much upon social media that they probably missed out on their blessings, but they still ignorant bragging and thinking that they can get over on me by reverse psychology, doing reverse psychology and being and acting like they mad at me because of me, but they're really upset with themselves because of the way they treated me or the way they done me. I ain't stupid. And you gotta understand, so that's my cousin Snuggles, I believe, but Snuggles Graham, the Scipios, I ain't never say you don't support me. You ain't in Charlotte. I'm talking about the people of Charlotte. People in Florence, people in Georgia and stuff like that can't come. So I understand that. So I don't hold nothing against anybody outside of Charlotte or surrounding areas. Salisbury, that's another story. Concord, that's another story. Kannapolis, that's another story. But Florence and, Raleigh and all of that, I don't hold that against them. But anyway, getting back to the subject of
What are you looking at?
no, I'm looking at all the people.
Some glasses.
I'm calling
You're just
people out.
squinting.
Chantel, like I told her yesterday, she supports every Friday with the prayer call.
Well, you know, some people they just come by and they rub a neck and they're like, let me see what's going on over here, and come on by. Or maybe you'll stay sometimes or come out. And I mean, like I said, and what we've both agreed on, the people that are supposed to be in the room, they're there. The people that need to be touched are there in the room with us. And we don't look at the empty seats, we look at the ones that are filled. At least I do. I come and I look at the faces that are there. If I see, 10 empty seats, I'm not going to change my face because there's 10 empty seats. I'm going to still look at who's there, who made the effort. Like even though the event didn't end well, Desira made that effort to come out.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Oh my God. I mean, you know what? People take so much for doggone granted. This is a young lady with cerebral palsy who is like, Judy, what are you doing? Whenever you guys are doing something, please let me know. I don't get out a lot. I don't have a good time. So, she came out. She has to use the special transit system. She came out, dropped her off. The place is accessible. Though I didn't check out the restrooms for her or anything like that. But she came in and she was like, well, Judy, I got money. I could maybe get a juice. And I was like, oh, no. Eventually I'm going to have this Foodie for Access nonprofit set up where anytime we do an event and somebody with a disability takes their time to come out the house, do you know how difficult it is? Because people stare, people look at you funny, people don't treat you right. We told you yesterday how they told her she had to get up out of there and leave because they were setting up Like her space was somehow going to stop them from setting up a place, as she was waiting for her ride home. So when people like that come out, and I did treat her to dinner, I said, go and eat until you're stuffed. Eat whatever you want. Because my goal is that isolation for people with disabilities really needs to come to an end. Needs to come to an end. And she did have a good time. But, even that, what's her name, Regina and Roz. Roz happened to see our event. Actually, it started because she just became friends with Jennifer Cook. And you tagged Jennifer, of course, with everything that we do. And she saw it on Jennifer's wall. They were going to go to Panera Bread after church. And she said, no, let's go out to this place. Let's have a good time. They are some wonderful people. So every time we do something, and I know that you're always going to be, oh, these people don't come, they don't support me. But when brand new people come out, when people make an effort like that, when people who didn't expect to come and see something, but then they stay because they enjoyed it, that's meaningful to me. That's really meaningful to me.
But you got to understand something. Another part of it is when you grow up and I grew up with no perk. Like I remember when I was 20 years old and I was at Lewisburg, and this white girl, I believe we Facebook friends, Jennifer. She was the basketball, the water girl, right? And she used to assist my homie. She used to assist the basketball team and Coach Drake. So next thing you know, we was at the dinner table. We was at the lunch table because I used to be high smoking weed, and I'd skip class. And I'd be asleep. I'd be so high from the next night, from the last night, that I'd be so asleep that I missed class. So I went to the lunchroom to get something to eat for lunch. And we were sitting there talking, and she was like, well, what do you want to do with your life? I didn't even know. I couldn't even answer. I was high. I was just gone. I couldn't even answer. And I remember calling one time and calling John. We was in high school. And I remember calling John, and John was asleep, right? And he sleep. I woke him up, and he said, Chuck, what do you want to do with your life? And I couldn't even answer. So I got to a certain point where I was 28, 29 years old. That's when I really discovered that I basically wanted to entertain, be an entertainer, be a rapper, be a manager. I wanted to manage. I wanted to rap. I wanted to perform. I wanted to act. I wanted to do all of these different things. But beforehand, I had no dreams. But then I had the dreams, right? And I explained this to you several times, so you know the story. I had the dreams. North Star Productions, I was using North Star, as far as Key had the studio in Virginia at his house. So, I knew that was free studio time when I could get there. He wasn't trying to get over on me. We work all night, so he used me for what I do, for me rapping and for me managing and knowing people and networking with people. And I'd use him for his production. I'd use him for recording, right? So we use each other, right? So next thing you know, I started going on a roll. If y'all thought I was crazy now, imagine me before social media, just going out to different events. Every time Power 98 had something, I was right there. J No Truth I used to be around J No Truth like we were brothers, like we grew up together and we barely even knew each other. But him, Tab DiBiase, even Pragmatic, like I was always around them dudes. And Tone Capone, Tony Wallace, I was always around these dudes, record rep for Columbia Sony Records. I was always around these dudes building relationships for North Star Production. Then I got married. When I got married, everything fell apart. Everything, I was like, I just wanted to raise a family, which we'll talk about that tomorrow, but I just wanted to raise a family, and I gave up on my dreams. Everything else got loose. Then got separated, and the next thing you know, I was like, yeah, this would be a perfect time to get back writing my book. So I started writing. But then I was still hurting bitter, and I was still out there while I was writing
Out there in the world, yeah.
out there in the world. And I basically met somebody and felt that they were, and I thought it was a play relationship. I thought we was just playing, sleeping around with each other. And then it seemed like that person just took me to that next level, took me serious. Y'all already know I'm silly, so a lot of people don't take me serious. So I really thought this person was taking me serious. But when I took it serious, that's when that person basically dropped me. But that's when I got back focused after that person dropped me. And that's when I got passionate because, and that's another part of arrogance. That's an arrogant side because when you get around the boys and they talk about who they sleeping with, and how many women they sleeping with, you sitting there and you want to have this relationship. You want to be married. You want to be established. You want to be settled. You at that point, but you seeing, and you want to set examples, but you seeing these people, these boys who go around over 40 years old now, not 30,
boys.
not 30, not 35,
Sit up again. We always reached out.
over 40, let's say between the range of 40 and 50 years old, talking about how they sleeping with different women and bragging on who they sleeping with. We ain't at the basketball team when we was 19, 20 years old and you were around the basketball players and athletes and stuff like that, and they talking about they slept with this woman and that woman, or they did this, they did that. You talking about people in their 40s, older than me. I was 39 at that, 38, 39 at that time. And you talking about people in their 40s just bragging. You too soft, Chuck. Boy, you over 40 years old. What the hell going on? You should be soft. So you think
It's
about
not,
that.
I think it's not only that, but God at that point was drawing you away from doing things like the world
Yeah,
did.
like the world was doing.
You got sick of it. I remember when after we met, it wasn't right away, but I remember after we met and you called me up one time because you were like, Judy, I'm going to the club. And I was like, go right ahead. Because I was always praying. I was like, God, he's going to get tired. And you called me up and you said, I'm sick of this. Everything all looks the same. The women lined up here, the men lined up there. Everybody trying to get some liquid courage. And they play the same songs. And I never forgot, I sat there and I just smiled because I said, Lord, you know what? As your spirit draws him away from the world, you begin to look at things differently and you're like, is that all there is to it? Like you say, these people are over 40 and you still doing the same thing.
Not 30, not 25, not 30, not
still
35.
Doing the same thing.
They're over 40 doing
and
what
you sound like a
25-year-olds
doggone
are doing.
broken record because you talk about the same thing every weekend.
That's all you can talk about every weekend. How many women you slept with, or you around a different
that's your
woman.
only claim to fame, and that's your only way of feeling like you're alive.
And you're around different women, and these women are over 40 as well. So what type of lifestyle are they living?
Everybody is living.
No, I'm just saying, listen, these men that are bragging about how many women they slept with and bragging about these women, right? These same women are still coming around, not in the different women at different times coming around these fellas. So what type of character are these women holding? They over 40, and I'm just looking at them like, what is wrong with you? You up here trying to struggle to find a husband, but you around somebody who ain't really serious about you, and you really ain't taking them serious.
It's called hamster wheel
But you
lifestyle.
40, yeah.
It's hamster wheel. We going around and around and around, and we know we're not really getting anywhere. We know, because you can talk from your experience, I can talk from mine. You just are going with the flow. You're just like, every day, let me get up You put your dreams on a back burner. You put your goals on a back burner. You try not to think about that you're getting older and none of the stuff you really want to happen is happening. You know what I'm saying? So you just like, oh, I just want to go out and have a good time. You know.
But and let me,
I'm
sorry,
being real for
I'm
the
sorry
women. I'm
to
being
cut you
real.
off.
It's sort of like, just don't even think about that no more because it's not happening. Just go out and have a good time. I'm serious. I'm telling the truth. Just go out and have a good time. And you try to, it's almost like a drug. You try your best to forget about the reality of the situation and just have a good time, you know? And that's what people are doing on these
But they
weekends.
they're really not having a good time.
No, I'm telling you, it's
if you
not
get
about
burnt,
that.
if you basically go to the club, right? You go to the club, you get drunk till you fall. The DJ, and I posted that about yesterday. How you probably ain't read it, obviously. How when I was up at Bernetta's, me and you and Donnie talked about it because I was at Bernetta's party, 40th birthday party, and
I did read it.
and you know, like he played songs that were cursing and stuff like that. Like the DJ played those certain songs, and they were telling you to shake your butt, and I want to get in your pants, and I couldn't amp it up like the DJs and the hosts. Please get your drinks and push people, even though I had a drink, but I couldn't push anybody with all that free alcohol, especially to keep drinking. Because that'll be on my conscience if they go out and get into a car wreck, or they go out and get into a fight and get shot, or if they go out and they're not aware and somebody just doing something crazy to them, that'll be on my conscience. Like, I'm really pushing these people to do this.
To do something, right?
And if you got more than $5 or $10, wave your hands up in the air or something like that. But how am I gonna make somebody feel good who just got $5 in their pocket or don't have any money period in their pocket? So it was certain songs that I the 80s songs what I was rapping to, and conscious songs what I was rapping to, trying to excite the crowd and get them to dance or get them to bob their heads, whatever. But I couldn't do it, and that's the thing. Like like I know people getting tired of just going to the clubs. You 40 years old and you still waiting till you get off of work at 5 o'clock, which I was doing at 28 years old, 27, 26, 27 years old, just waiting till I got off of work 7 o'clock to party all weekend. But you going to these clubs, and the next thing you know, the DJ get drunk, and then you coming home and you sleeping with somebody who don't have any intentions for you. You drunk until
that's what we were talking about.
You're planning to sleep with somebody that really don't have no intentions for you, which you want intentions, but that person don't have those same intentions for you. So you missing out on what God has planned for you because you're stuck with the wrong person, with the wrong intentions. And so, of course, I'm going to come out because it's very passionate for people that's in the struggle of trying to find mates. Even men are in the struggle of trying to find that woman, but that woman, and he's sitting at home, he's frustrated. Or maybe he's in the club and he's frustrated because he wants that woman. He wants that one woman, but there's so much going on with that, with relationships, and he's looking at these divided marriages, and she's looking at these marriages that's divided, and they're just looking at what's going on in the world, and they get discouraged. So why not come out with Single, Saved, and Serious?
No,
Terry, I ain't seen you yet. And you a good one. You in a interracial marriage. I ain't seen you yet. You a good example and a good inspiration to these singles and to these married couples. And I ain't seen you yet. I hope to see you in the near future. I think we talked about it and you said you're going to come support. But it's just the point of, and yeah, I'm gonna call people out, because
You love to call people out.
yeah, but I can call her. I can get away with that because we go back. It's certain people that I can get away with it with, and certain people I can't. Whether I know you or don't know you, and certain people I can't. But I know I can get away with it with her because we go back, and she remembered me. That was my old junior high crush. And she was skinny as I don't know what, but we used to sit beside each other, and I used to, just hit on her and flirt with her and all types of stuff. Now husband, that was 14, 13, 14 years old.
I think it was a little bit
That
more
was
than
that.
14.
It was nothing going on with
Junior
that.
high
That was just a
school.
crush.
That was
That
like
was junior
20,
high, okay? Please,
30
please.
years ago. Ain't nobody worried
That
about
was
30 years
80
ago.
years ago, okay?
Ain't nobody worried about that.
You have
But
a
you bring up,
a lovely wife. You have a lovely wife.
You bring up a good point about, but what I call that is the hamster wheel. People are stuck doing the same thing because they want something, they don't know how to go about getting it. They don't know. They see all of these people just using people. They get scared, and but they're lonely or they're just bored, and they're like, let me just go out to the club. Let me just go out and have a good time. Let me, all them other people look like they're having a good time. And, like I said, it's the liquid courage. You get a couple of drinks inside of you and you just feel like you making it and no more pain. You're not feeling anything. But that's so when you come down from that, when you get home and wake up the next morning, and like you're saying, you may have slept with someone who has no intention beyond what was going on last night. And then they get up and be like, oh, I'll talk to you. I'll text you. What? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they know all day is just get up and go home.
Get up and go home.
And enjoy the rest of your day.
And I'll talk to you. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I mean, like I said, I don't talk about other people. I can only talk about myself. I know what that's like.
I talk about them.
I'm saying I'm talking from my own experience.
Yeah, I know what you,
But
I talk about
But I'm
it.
just saying
that,
because I want people to understand I'm not sitting up on no high pedestal saying,
you ain't forgot where you come from.
Oh, I sure haven't forgotten.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't
That's
forgotten
what
the names. I have not forgotten what I used to feel. And then I was like, man, this is not it. But you don't know how to get it. You don't know how to get it because there's nothing set up to help you get it. That's what Single Saving Series does. Somebody came to me the other day. You come to you too and say, oh, help me find a husband. No, we don't help you find one. What we do is we set up a situation, an environment where people can come and be themselves. We're not trying to be no quick pickups. We're not trying to foster an atmosphere where, this is just a hookup thing. No, we're trying to say, get to know people, talk, network, share what your dreams and your goals and share about God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of people on these sites, people. That's a question. Can you find a Christian on the online sites? Like a needle in a haystack. They all say they're, religion, Christian. They all say, oh yeah, how many of you been on them sites and they say, oh, I'm looking to get married. Okay.
And they tell you that
2 or 3 years later, you still on the site looking to get married. It don't take all
and
that.
I've been around 20 men, been through 20 men or 20 women.
She said, get some glasses. I'm laughing at her. I really want to put a laugh in
Oh, you
there.
talking about me?
Yeah, because you be squinting them.
I'm blind now. I tell
like,
you that.
what's
first
that
hand.
old Mr. Magoo?
Hey, but look, the blind is leading the blind, cousin.
Look. She said 1 out of 1 million. But, it's very hard because everybody knows, I call it keywords, buzzwords. Everybody know the buzzwords to say, oh, I'm looking for a long-term relationship. I'm looking for my wife, my queen. I'm looking for... 2 years later, you are still sitting here, can't find a queen. And I'm sorry. We were talking about this in one of the singles groups because I'm still a member of a lot of singles groups because that's where I get a lot of my ideas and different things like that. And they allow me to stay in there even though I'm married. But they were talking about, oh my gosh, I almost forgot my thought. They were talking about how long should you date this man? Is 5 years too long to date somebody
Yes.
before getting married? And a lot of the men and females said yes. Yes, it's too long. And one lady, she came and she says, I learned my lesson. She said, I was going into the 5th year, and when I brought the subject up, he was like, no, I don't have no intention of marrying you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? You know, and of course it broke her heart. She's like, oh, what the heck am I doing? You know, it broke her heart. She was like, I had to learn.
You know what?
Set those intentions up,
Mm-hmm.
because people will coast along in your life, okay? Sitting on your couch, eating your food, watching your cable, you know what I'm saying? And they have no intention. You are, and I hate to use this word, but it's the truth. You're a placeholder. You are holding a place
Yeah,
until the
comfort.
other person comes along.
I
And
think a
you-
year is too long.
Whatever.
I think no, really. I think if you've been dating on a consistent
Basis,
and
y'all been
for
growing
a
a
whole
relationship,
year, and
yeah.
y'all been growing a relationship, over a year is too long before you decide to get married.
Because this
you know,
is
I
what-
think a ring prolongs the marriage, right? Because you really don't have to get a ring. I know in North Carolina and Charlotte, you do not have to get a ring to be married. Only thing you need is a marriage certificate. You call the pastor, call a pastor that you want to marry you. Whenever you want to set the date, that's on you. But you do not need a ring. You don't need a white dress. You don't need a tuxedo. You don't need all of that. You can wake up this morning, say, I want to get married, and be married throughout.
And this is the thing.
Before the day is
the
over.
5 years she put into that dude, you can't get it back. And now her mind is messed up. Because the next dude coming along talking nice, what he going to go through? He going to go through some hoops. Because this other dude for 5 years had her stringing along and didn't even really have the guts to say, you know what. But see, this is what I'm telling the women and I'm telling the men. Do not allow anybody to do that to you. You know what? You meet somebody, you starting to groove, you starting to kick it, you like the person. It's good. What we doing here? What we doing? So I know what I'm dealing with. You're not, you know, God didn't make you to walk around. I know he says walk by faith, but that's with him, not with a whole bunch of strange people, not with humans. Humans, we need to be able to tell each other what in the world we're doing. We need to be able to have that communication, okay? Because those people are not God. They don't always have your best intentions at heart. So no way, you know, that somebody should be giving up 5 years of their life, and when they finally say, hey, what are we doing? Nothing. Nothing? My life is nothing? My time is not valuable? You know what I'm saying? So she was a placeholder for this dude.
And she was complacent and just waiting.
She got complacent.
Being
Yeah, because they get
complacent
into a
because
rut.
she didn't want to be afraid. My take on it is, if she left him or whatever and started all over, and I talked about that yesterday too, because nobody wants to start over. You know how hard it is
I know.
to start over with
Oh, I
somebody,
used to talk about that.
especially when you're in a marriage and you know you're going through a separation or a divorce.
And then you're by yourself.
Next thing you know, you by yourself and you got to start over, and everybody has. Some people have different intentions.
And that's, I think, is
than you
where
do.
a lot of people are right now. If you've passed the age of 30, you've been in at least one relationship. And so if you're at that point, and you're single and you've got to start all over, it's hard. Because here's this stranger, you have no idea what their real intentions are, what their real goals are. But this is why I'm telling everybody, you got to start talking. Start it off on a good foot. All of this flirting, people, I don't know how to put it this way. I'm not against flirting. I think flirting is cute. But I think, hush. But I think we spend too much conversation.
Now don't contradict yourself, because you
I'm
went
not-
fool
I'm
after I
not-
started
I'm
flirting
not.
with you.
No, wait a minute. Anyway, we're going to get back to that story in a minute.
Yeah.
But we just spend too much time flirting and not enough time with some serious conversation. Why are you always looking at the phone?
And so that's what basically.
So there's nothing wrong with flirting. Yes, he flirted with me, and I thought it was cute, and he laughed. But that didn't let me know who he really was.
Milked. made her melt.
You
When
know
we was at
what?
Central Avenue, we was at the car parts. I think I was looking for something for the Benz. Well, I was looking for a part for the
Yeah, he
Benz,
tried to flirt and get
and
romantic in a car parts
then I was
store.
and because we went to Harris Teeter and got
And
some
had
coffee
lunch,
throughout
yeah.
the day. We had coffee. Or we
We
had
had
lunch.
lunch. We sat
Oh,
out
we
on a
had
little
lunch
thing
and
and
sat
ate.
out and ate on the
Little
patio
patio they
at
had. You
Harris
could see
Teeter
the
on
city.
Central Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And then she went on home, and I went home. But before I went home, I tongued her down, and that girl
Jesus.
melted. That girl went crazy, and I was just flirting. I tongued her butt down, and she said, "Oh
First
my
of all,
God!"
what was that?
And
Only
I
our second
couldn't. I
doggone
swear.
date? And that man was like, I was like, oh, but hey, there's nothing wrong with knowing there's some passion behind there. We need you to be a nice,
Yeah,
strong, warm-blooded man. I really
I
did
tongued
need you.
that girl down so
Okay, and I
bad.
was like, all right now, there's
All
some
right,
energy
now,
up in
yeah.
here. This
But
ain't gonna be no boring bit of, But my thing is, what I'm telling people is, balance people. What the Bible says, all things in moderation. It wasn't all flirting and all kissing and no conversation about where you see yourself, what you're trying to do. Okay, it wasn't that. You need to have balance. And what I see too much is you got some people that come out there, well, what are your intentions toward me? Well, I didn't even know you. How does he know what his intentions are towards you? Or I have the
what
flip
are your
side
intentions instead of what are your intentions
towards me. So, and then my thing is have that conversation. Keep having those conversations. It's okay to bring it up again. It really, really is. Like, hey, I'm good at that because I'm like, oh, we 4 months. We 4 months, remember? I was marking anniversaries all over the place. I'm like, we've been together 4 months. We've been dating 4 months. We've been dating 5 months. It's okay to mark those milestones and say, hey, I'm excited you're still in my life. I'm
and show the
excited.
person.
Show them,
And
yeah.
that way, like if you mark it on your calendar, show them and act happy with it. That way you'll really know.
Don't let people.
That way you'll really know whether that person is for you or not.
Thank you.
If they back off,
if they don't get happy, they be like, oh,
show them you crazy.
all right.
Show them you crazy.
Show them you crazy about
show
being
them,
serious.
show them how crazy you are. Show them everything about you when you first meet them, so that way they'll know whether they're capable of sticking
I'm
around.
hanging around with you or not. I think our first date, we were at the lake, and he was like, okay, let me see if this runs you off. I live with my mama. I was like, okay. Let me see if that runs you off. I'm a janitor. He was throwing it out there. He was like, let me get this
I'm
over.
insecure and immature.
Well, he was. He's got
I'm
so much
insecure and immature.
But I didn't consider that immaturity. I considered that being brass tacks. If you are going to have a problem with this and our first date, let me tell you, and then we can just be friends and Facebook friends and all of that. But he was real. He was real. Now that second date, he grabbed me and tongue. I was like, what in the world? I was like, oh, so there's some passion up in here. Okay, I'm gonna make a note. You know how we women, we make that little mental note. I'm gonna make a mental note to come back to this. But my thing is, what? Did you say something?
Freaky dicky,
so stupid. No, I'm a real woman. I'm like, I like the way that felt. So the thing of it is, but we still had these conversations. What?
Mm-hmm.
We still had these conversations to keep it real, to keep some sort of balance. That it wasn't just about flirt. I know people have been flirting for 8 months, and you ask them, so how's his family? I don't know nothing about his family. 8 months, and you don't know nothing about the doggone man's family? What are y'all talking about for 8 months?
Nobody wants to be alone. I had an argument with somebody like that 3 years ago. But nobody really wants to be alone. So can you imagine that security that person might be giving them? It's some sort of security.
I beg to differ.
Them just being I'm just saying them being in that presence, whether it's for 15 minutes or whether it's for hours, that person is within that woman or that man's presence.
Okay, presence I got. The feeling of being next to
somebody.
But there's freaking no security when you don't know where that person's going to be after they leave you. There's no security. What we do is it's a false sense, and we got to tell ourselves
false sense of
he's mine. But you have absolutely no idea where that person is going to be.
What I'm saying is,
what?
What I'm saying is, they don't feel alone. It's just like when you're married and you're alone. So basically, they feel alone, but within their mind, he's still present or she's still present somewhere. I remember when I was when
that
a
would never be
certain
good enough for
girl
me. But go ahead.
when a certain girl from Olympic High, I had the biggest crush on her in the world. I
A whole
used to
bunch of
take her
crushes.
out and all types of stuff, and she would use the living daylights out of me. But I was in my 26, 27 years old, and I was trying to get with this girl. She had 2 kids and everything, and you know, like I'd wake up, I'd just wait in the morning. I'd just wait until in the morning time, right? 9 o'clock every morning, I'd wait by the bed until she called. And then after she called, after we talked, whether she called to cuss me out, she was calling to cuss me out, or whatever. But I just had to talk to her and have a conversation with her before I started my day. Because it was some form of security. Whether she
Attachment.
treated me
Some kind of
well, yeah,
attachment.
attachment, but it was security as well because I was secure regardless of how the conversation went. I was secure when I talked to her. And I felt secure after I talked to her because I could go throughout my day with, after talking to her. And that's how some people are. Some people have a form of security because they feel like they're with that person because
They're attached
that
to the
person
person, yeah.
is there. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, they don't want to start all over and be alone in search for that person because it might end up worse than this person again. And like you said earlier, they may have faith that that person may change because you're thinking that this person is going to change in a way to where you have hope within this person like 6 months or a year from now it's not going to be the same person, so that person is going to grow, but 6 months to a year from now that person is still the same, treating you the same way. And that's why I say it's good to burn bridges, because that same woman, if I wouldn't have went off on her or whatever, that same woman probably would have been to this day coming around
Oh yeah, we
and
got that
using
going
me.
on. We talk
So
about that. We talk about these people who've been in these I call them pseudo relationships. I refuse to call them a real relationship for 10 years, 25 years. And that person is no more really tied to you. It's a thing of convenience. It's a thing of, like you said, that false sense of security. It's that false sense of attachment. I call it a reasonable facsimile. It is not the real thing, but you settle for it because that's better than being alone. That's better than, like you said, than starting over. And that's why we have now this term called soul ties. You've been doing this for so long. You've been on this little hamster wheel for so long that you actually in your mind feel that this is good enough. When in your heart, you know it really isn't.
yeah, it ain't good
You
enough.
know it's not good enough, but you can keep trying to convince yourself that it's good enough. I had a relationship before I met you. I only had 2 relationships since I've been here in Charlotte. I had a relationship before I met you. And that person now, everybody calls mom and pop. We would, y'all together. But the thing of it is, the person never wanted to get married. They didn't even want to live together. They were like, you got your crib, I got my crib. We just come together every once in a while. And I had to tell bro, man, I was like, you know what? That's not it. Yeah, I can. It's almost like I have to dumb myself down to do that. And not that I haven't in the past, try to just live and let live, see you when I can see you, oh, you free tonight, what you doing, boo-boo, come on over, blah, 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 blah. But I just couldn't do it that time. I just couldn't. It was like the Holy Spirit in me was like, are you not done? Have you not tried this over and over again? How old your butt gotta get before are you done? And I was like, you know what, God, I'm done. I'm done doing things this way. Why did Dr. Phil say, how is that working for you? And it wasn't. I was always trying to fill a hole that couldn't be filled with these relationships. I couldn't do it. And I told the person, and I did care about the person. I said, look, I care about you. He had even taken me to meet his family. So it wasn't like the family didn't know who the little woman was going to be, you know. So, but I just couldn't do it. I said, I can't do this. I know there is more for me. And if I have to be alone for a good long time, I will be. Because you know what? God's going to sustain me through that time.
And we got to understand, like, that loneliness, and that's why we're here. That's why Single Saved and Serious is here.
Yes.
Because you're not alone.
That loneliness will kick your butt. I'm not going to even
God,
lie.
when God, you know, God is there within the presence, but God has sent us in order to send us.
Can I tell you what I said? I'm
us.
going to be real with people. I said, God, I said, I love you. And I realized, I said, but your word even says you're a spirit. Okay? I said, I need some hands and feet. I went there. I said, I need some hands and feet. You can't put me in this physical body, human body with emotions and all of these senses, and then say that I could only have a close relationship with you as a spiritual one. You put us in a physical form. I believe your intentions were for us to have tight, close physical relationships. And so I went there. That was part of my prayer, people. I need hands and feet. I need somebody I can use these senses you gave me to appreciate somebody in front of me. I went there. That was part of my prayer of I need physical. I need physical. And he said, God's not afraid to hear you pray like that.
Yeah.
He's not afraid.
Because that's what basically got us together.
Yeah.
Because one thing that the attachment does, one thing that me and Judy, one thing about me and Judy is when there's sometimes that I don't even want to pray, and I don't even feel like praying. There's sometimes that I'm just discouraged and I'm down and I'm off, and I got a woman who covers me in prayer, and that's sometimes when we wake up in the morning. We first wake up, and I know something is bothering Judy.
Oh, yes.
Like I cover in prayer as soon as I wake up in the morning. Like I'm at a point right now, like for the last few days, I even thought about it yesterday. Like I ain't been praying like I used to. And I thought about that yesterday. Yeah. I've been like I was discouraged even before. Well, I did pray at the event, and that went wrong. Yeah, at the beginning of the event. And I felt in the Holy Spirit that I needed to pray. Like usually me and Judy will go up in a group and I'll be like, Judy, let's go ahead and pray. Let's go ahead and pray.
Before we start.
But now it's like I couldn't tell Mika and Judy to get up and leave their people in order for me to pray. So I just pray in the atmosphere, and whoever agreed upon. So I prayed to everybody. But there's sometimes that I don't even be in the connection to pray. Sometimes I'm just like y'all. I ain't thinking like y'all, but sometimes I get in a situation to where I get mad at God. I'm mad at you, God. Why is this happening? You know how impatient I am right now? Do you know why I'm doing the janitor's closet and all of the, do you know why I'm talking to you for hours and hours on the Lover and Giver?
Okay.
And I'm on these Facebook Lives. Do you know how frustrating that is? This is a relief for me to be able to even communicate with y'all and talk with y'all, whether y'all support what I'm doing or not. It's like it's a relief for me to talk to y'all and live this dream. And God revealed to me the other day, on the day before yesterday, that you are living a dream. You're just not doing it the way that that you should see it. That you want to see your dreams gone, but you are living.
You're living a dream.
Yeah, you're living a dream.
Things.
You're doing
making
things.
A difference. And I think I wanted to say one more thing on the point of, the kind of prayer that I went to with the Lord. I was like, you know what, Lord, I'm done with the shallow. I'm done with the surface. I want something deep. I believe that we can have a physical relationship, a spiritual relationship, and an emotional relationship with a person. I began to have faith in the idea of what God said that we could have. And I wasn't accepting the world's idea of it. I wasn't accepting what I had done in the past, because it obviously hadn't worked.
And I was like, I need a new thing done for me, and I want it. And I began to want that thing more than I wanted to stay the same. I began to want it. Because when I first met you and you were off the chain the way you were, going through the bitterness, going through the hurt, always referring to it, always talking about it, the frustration you had about, growing single, saved, and serious. And I mean, for 3 months, that man was like off the chain. And all of my friends were like, Judy, I think you should just leave that one alone.
One of them right there. Right there.
Hush. But, the thing is when I would think about it, I would go to the Lord and I would say, God, give me a sign. And one line I remember hearing and saying it almost at the same time. And I was praying and I said, God, help me to love this man in front of me. Not the previous men in my life, but this one right here. What is it that he needs in order for him to know that somebody loves him? And at that time, it was just like, be still, just sit there. Just sit there. Just let him rant. And man, you would rant. Good God Almighty. You think we on this Facebook Live for long? These bedroom talks came out of what? Our conversations over the last year and a half. That boy would talk, and I'd be over the corner, eyes closed, like, yes, I'm listening. Remember you said, Judy, are you listening? Yes, I'm listening to you. I'm trying to keep up with everything you're saying. But God just, He gave me superhuman strength to just listen to you and allow you to vent.
Talk about the same thing.
Same thing. Oh, I mean, for 3 months, it was like the same conversation over and over and over again. And occasionally I would, the human side, I'm still human. I'm like, can we talk about something else? Can we get rid of these ghosts? Can the past stay in the past? But I would go back to God would just fill me up again. Listen, give him space. And he would show me little glimpses of this beautiful, beautiful personality you had underneath all of that rage. And I would see it and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to wait for when that's, instead of that being only 10% of what I see, I'm going to wait and see if it'll get to 80, 30, 40, 50. And it did.
Come over here. We're going to do something unedited. You can tell we unedited.
He ain't got no clothes on. He does not have a shirt.
I got boxes on.
He got a here I am in the corner, y'all see.
I got boxes on.
Okay, wait, let me see.
Can I show my chest? You told me I could show my chest.
Did I say that you could show your chest?
You did say I could show my chest.
First of all, my arms
You
are long.
remember a certain person was showing their chest. Their wife gave them permission to show their chest on social media. And I asked you, I said, no, I could put it out there, flat tie. You remember Flat Tie showed his chest on social media. And I said, well, can I show my chest? Since he showed his chest, I even posted it. My wife gave me to go to show my chest. Can I just show my chest?
Go ahead.
Okay. Can I?
Are you?
Somebody might be like, it's a bird chest. How you like that? How you like this chest?
Look, there's no six pack.
I ain't working. No, my stomach is huge. My stomach is big.
That's because you like to have a beer every once
in a while. Beer, but that's a beer.
No, not, you know what? It's not even the beer, because you don't even drink a lot of beer. You are king of cookout.
Well,
the double burger with the
that's your fault.
Cookout style.
You know what this woman had the nerve to give me for Father's Day?
She didn't tell me that it's my fault.
You know what this woman had the nerve to give me the other day for Father's Day? A double chicken club sandwich for Father's Day.
I made them make it. He was like, well, that's not on the menu, and I'm not sure we can do it. I said, my husband says he wants a double chicken. You put that extra chicken, well, I'm going to have to charge you. Hey,
I wanted steak and ribs. I wanted steak and ribs.
Well, guess what?
Yeah, come on now. I wanted steak and ribs.
Oh,
You don't
Resume. Okay.
Yeah, we're unedited.
Completely.
And we're not edited. This is bedroom talk.
Look,
and ain't no telling.
In the back, and I'm not.
Put on that light. And it ain't no telling how we might end on bedroom talk since we're on our stomachs. God might have something in store for you people to look at.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Okay.
Do you know anybody on Facebook Live that have this fun?
You know what?
No, do you know who? Hey, cuz, we need about 10 shares a day from you.
People like, what are they doing? Rolling around in the bed?
What the world type of Facebook Live is
and these are Christians?
What's wrong with Christian people?
What's wrong with
Good
that?
God
But
almighty.
anyway.
Oh no, you ain't playing with my guy. Y'all single, saved, and serious all right now. Yeah.
Any pastors that are on here, we're very serious about God. Please don't look at them old crazy people. I can't let my members go to that place.
Stop them immediately. Stop them.
I do not give you leeway to.
Well, we got
attend.
2 shares.
Okay.
We appreciate the Snuggles and whoever. It might be Trino. Trino shared us.
Yeah, he
shared us.
does. But anyway, I forgot what we were talking
Oh,
about.
my
but
aunts
anyway,
and stuff. My Linda
I'm trying to
probably
get
like,
you in
oh
the
my
picture."
God. I ain't know Judy was like that. You know,
half of my friends didn't know I was like
yeah,
that.
I ain't know
You
Judy
know,
was
look.
like that. What's going on with Judy? That boy done ran her crazy.
No. Tell them what I told you when you Tracy.
Bobby Brown, Whitney Houston,
He
huh?
said, I'm crazy. I said, okay, let me just see if my
Your
brand of crazy
definition of crazy.
will blend with your brand of crazy. And then 6 months later, what he been saying ever since?
You're insane.
I'm crazy, but you're insane.
Yeah, I'm crazy, but you're insane.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun, and I believe fun should be a part of life. I believe that, God gave us our sense of humor. We are not supposed to just be so dry and just dusty. There's nothing worse than that. I hope to have this for the rest of my life. It's fun and excitement. I saw that with my mother and father. They were.
Hold on.
Snuggles shared.
Hold on. Snuggles and 10 others just shared your video.
Are you serious?
Let them know. Look.
I see it.
Look.
It's the love. Yes, it's the love.
I'm talking about 10 other people.
I saw that. I know you're going to get stopped by that, but I'm talking about thank you, Snuggles. It's
Bunny!
the love. No.
Okay.
We call them folk up into the room. It's the love. It's the love of God, and it's the love for each other. The trust that we have built over a year and a half.
She said she shared it 10 times. You know you crazy.
That let her do what she want to do.
Yeah, do it.
But
Look at Bunny. Look at this. Our cousin Snuggles, the Scipio family, shared our post 10 times. Our Love and Together Facebook Live. Done shared it 10 times. Can you believe this? Look at that.
like Bunny,
Look at that right there.
Really don't care. You called me up for my video to come up here.
We're doing the Love and Together Facebook Live
I'm just
right
about
here.
crazy amount of fun. Saying hey.
Okay.
Hey, people.
Okay.
She's like, that's enough of these crazy people. I gotta live with these folks.
These crazy people.
But anyway, it's
Exactly.
She says I'm a Brown, so so you
Part
understand.
Urban too. Yeah, she part Urban, part
Oh, she brought Urban Part Brown.
She what you call it? Double Ken.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, double Ken.
Mother
Her
is
mother
brown.
is a Brown.
Can I get my bag out the car?
Yes,
Yeah.
it should be open. Go ahead. Just put something on your feet. Shoot.
Yeah, but go
But
ahead.
anyway, no, I'm just saying. I know we were supposed to be doing question and answers.
Listen,
we done talked for an
listen.
hour,
Listen.
saying all bunch
But
of
let me say
nothing.
this: there are a whole bunch of nothing.
No,
but
we
let me
had
say
some good
this.
points. We had some
Let me say this. Let me just say this.
fathers and everything. Oh, cool.
See how crazy that is. Influence people just sleep with people.
Stop that.
They say if you over, and that's why people think they can do whatever they do to me, because basically they like if their mentality is if you are further than a third cousin, they gonna sleep with you. That's how they are in the country. Like they sleep with their fourth.
My daddy didn't come from the country. Okay.
They used to sleep with their cousins.
Well, supposedly there's the Wilson line and the Russ line, and at some point they cross over. So I don't know what was going on. Little town in Pennsylvania called Shippensburg. I don't know what was going on over there. And then, my mother from an island. She's from a Caribbean island. There weren't even 100,000 people in that place.
I couldn't imagine looking like sleeping with my mama or my daddy's third or fourth cousin. I mean, that's some sickness right
It all
there.
depends, because by the time I met my daddy's family in Pennsylvania,
You got a little bit of freakiness in you.
no,
You
I'm
need
just
to tell
trying
me
to say,
something.
my daddy married late in life. So by the time I got to Pennsylvania at 13, I think that was one of the last trips I went, they were third, fourth cousins I had never met. They were complete strangers to me. And some of them
Okay.
are good looking. So, I mean, you know. I
But
was
what I'm
like,
saying is that, do you need to tell me something
no, I
on
don't need to tell
Facebook
you
Live?
something. I mean, it was just a crush. It was
No,
nothing.
I'm just saying.
I
you
mean,
know,
we had all sorts of people in our
am I
family.
gonna run into somebody who say I'm a cousin, and then next thing you know, they'd be like, "Oh man, I met Judy's husband. You know, I got it in with her."
No,
You know?
we none of that.
All right, cause I doggone sure you ain't gonna go around me. You know, somebody tried me. You know, one of them, she say she my cousin, and I tried hard to find out whether she was my cousin or not. But this girl really tried me, was hitting on me and every doggone
Well,
thing.
you know, like I said, when you get down there and you don't know them,
And
and if y'all the
something
same
bad
age,
happened to
'cause
me that
my
next day.
first cousins were in their 30s, no 50s. So I had to go 3 generations to get to somebody my age. Well, by that time, you know, it's deep. I'm just saying I understand.
No, I don't.
Okay,
I
you don't
truly don't understand
Go ahead.
how people can brag about. I think a rapper, Snuggles, if you can't help me, but a rapper was Boozy or somebody was bragging about how they slept with their family member.
I mean, I wouldn't brag about it.
They bragging about it.
But I mean, if it happened, third or fourth cousin, and y'all got hooked up together and things like
Now,
that. happen.
if you got hooked up and you ain't know you were cousins, that's a different
That's
story.
that's a
But
much
if you
different
know you cousins, you know, if you know you cousins and you still sleep together, you're sick.
story. It's gonna tell you.
You're sick.
Now listen here, your mother should be here at any moment, so you know how I get.
Oh, Troy Morrison, I ain't worried about Mama. Buck gonna come in here and go crazy. But you know, we need him on Facebook Live on some of these stories. But we need Buckham. But this is the point. Morrison came on here. He's a pastor, and he follows us, and he knows how crazy
He's
we are.
upset. We ain't come up to Newburn yet. That's what he been talking about. When y'all coming, and we have to get together on. Where
Do
we're
you want?
driving.
Do you really want us to come?
Yes, he already picked out a place. He been picked out a place.
Well, why we ain't come?
Because,
Ain't nothing but $20 worth of gas. Listen, to all single, saved, and serious supporters, we take donations, we take sponsorships, we take all of these things in order to help us grow
Grow and-
single, saved, and serious.
keep
If
our
you
events
support
either free
and keep
or low
our
cost.
keep our events growing, so I can quit my job, you know, and not. You think I'm playing, but I'm dead serious, and I'm about to post it.
he's not playing.
Help me quit my job. I'm gonna put it on. I'm telling you. I'm gonna say, just like I said on Facebook Live with Q&A, the Lover and the Giver bedroom talk, Q&A. Help me quit my job. Single, saved, and serious takes donations, sponsorships,
Nobody's crazy.
everything.
Yeah, but almost all of it goes into the events.
Yeah,
So I don't know
all
what
of
you
it.
still
If you
gonna
want
live
the
on.
events.
Yeah, we put every dime and every.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
Listen, okay? I don't care nothing about no car. Now, I ride the butt. Well, I can't say
Don't say that.
God, no, let me knock on wood.
Don't say that because you.
I don't care nothing about no cars, though.
I know you don't. I mean, and he really doesn't. He's got such a strength of character. You
Yeah, I
don't
don't
care
care
about,
about
cars. You don't care about clothes. You don't care about, oh, well, I gotta have my
You
house.
see
a
me
certain
naked. If
way.
I could walk around the world naked and get away with it, I'd go naked. I'd be naked, and you'd sit there and say, "Oh, you promoting single, saved, and serious, and you didn't. That ain't God. You godly man. You should be."
Okay.
But the people in the Bible were naked, didn't they? They had clothes and everything, right? They had
I
the.
mean, David danced out of his clothes. He
Yeah,
should've
why
danced
can't
out of his
I?
clothes. And he was king.
Yeah, but I'm not godly because you sitting there and y'all uncovered and y'all in the bedroom and y'all just talking. I love for y'all to say something stupid like that. I love when y'all
Anyway,
talk stupid.
do we have any
You
more
got me in the
questions or
zone.
yeah, I know.
You got
We
me in
were
the zone.
talking
It's
about
your
different
fault.
relationships.
You see how my
My
cousin?
fault?
You see how my cousin shared me 10 times?
You're so
That's
proud and
crazy.
happy. No, that's not crazy. That's a good thing. Good stuff.
No, that's good, but I'm saying that's great that I got somebody who supports me like that. You know, them Scipios fools now. Don't get it twisted. Them some food, them some nut cases now. So
Anyway.
I see why she's supporting me and sharing
what
this
else are we gonna do?
craziness.
Any questions? and
This
answers that we
insanity, they're sharing this insanity 10 times of 3 of her other
trying
sisters,
to turn
2 of
it
her
around
other
so
sisters.
he can
What?
get it around.
No more Q&As. We about to go. We about to handle some business.
Yeah, get started. We're still
Yeah,
unpacking.
we're going to get started already.
I haven't found. Listen, if you
We're
don't know,
unpacking already.
I'm a big foodie, and I'm still unpacking like kitchen things and appliances. And I made my first meal last night, which of course you had to work. But I made my first
I would've
meal
loved
last
eating
night
it.
that didn't have anything really processed in it. I've been eating so much junk food, fast food, takeout food for the past 45 days. I'm just ready for some home cooked food, some fresh fruit, and different things like that. So that's what we're going to be working on
I
today.
want a fruit.
Listen.
I got a banana for that.
You know
Anna.
what? You know what?
I got a banana
Where's
for
that
Anna.
finish bit button?
You want some fruit? I got some
I'm
fruit.
gonna find the finish
I
button
got
in
an
a
apple
minute.
for Snapple.
And you know-
I'll give you some fruit. Foodie, I got some food for you, baby.
Hush.
I got some food.
Hush. You know what?
Some godly food for you. We
You know
married.
what? I
I'm
know,
going to
you're
rub
so
it in
exci-
all your
He's so
faces.
excited he can be like,
Yeah,
I can do this.
I
And
can
God
talk.
is happy
Yeah,
and
God
laughing.
is happy about it, and then laughing, and then laughing at you church people. Oh, come on, godly man. What are you doing, godly man? Boy, I'm gonna tell you something about this here.
But let me tell you something real quick. Let me tell you something, people. My finger's in front of the camera. Sorry, people. If the way we act today, we would not have gone anywhere near John the Baptist, because if that wasn't one crazy fool of a man, I don't know who was. Who goes out and lives in the forest, wilderness, desert, eating locusts and honey? I mean, them bugs. That's a bug. That was his food. Running around with some skin, animal skin tied around his waist. So my thing is this, people. Stop looking at that outward appearance. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You wouldn't have liked Jesus too much. He was too busy sitting in the places that most of y'all won't go. And, you know, you wouldn't have liked John the Baptist. You sure wouldn't have liked Peter, because y'all like to talk about how Peter's mouth getting him in trouble. You wouldn't have liked the loudmouth Peter. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't like James. James, you ever read the book of James? James be like, look, you ain't got no work with that faith, you're dead. You're dead. You hear me? You're dead.
Judy know the Bible more than
Okay.
some of them pastors,
Ooh,
y'all.
you wouldn't have liked
Trust
some of
me.
them old prophets. They were telling you either repent or you're going to burn. Okay, we got to get to the point that we understand that God was willing throughout the Old Testament and the New Testament to use people who would stand up against the grain, that would go against the grain.
Well, why he ain't using me? I've been asking him to use me for the
Using you.
home.
Can I knock him off the bed? I'm trying to
No,
knock
I'm
him off
just
the bed.
saying, why
He's
he ain't
using
using me, Judy?
He's using you.
Because, see, you know, how's he using me, Judy? How's he using me?
Because you got 10 shares just now, and you got people with 300 views looking at our videos, and we're talking about practical, godly living, not just when you're in the
300.
church.
300 views, how you know?
We have been had 300 views on our Lover and Giver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my thing is this, is like, you know, God is using you because people are like, this is refreshing. You know, there was another post in one of the singles groups today, I'm going to make it quick,
Go ahead.
that was talking about,
My arm getting tired.
I know,
Jesus.
Here, put it
You
up.
people don't know what I gotta go through to entertain you
Oh, Lord
people.
have mercy. You got your arm in front of my camera, so
You people don't know what I gotta go through to entertain you people.
But
I
anyway,
tell you what,
it
you
was a
see
real
what I
quick
gotta
thing
go
about
through.
people
Go ahead.
getting tired of people not going to church. And I didn't get a chance to respond, but I'm going to respond kind of here. People don't mind going to church, but then they don't want that to be the only place they can be godly.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That's what Single, Saved, and Serious is about. That's why I fell in love with Single, Saved, and Serious. It allowed me to be godly in the world and have fun. It allowed me not just to go according to a church program and feel like the presence of God in my life. It allows me right here in our bedroom to feel the presence of God. That's what people are missing, okay? They don't really mind going to a service, but then when they come out and they've got nowhere else to just relax, maybe watch a game, but pray first, that's deep. See, you and I grew up going to church and going to school.
I grew up
So
going
you
to school
saw God in a practical, everyday existence.
5 days a week.
I grew up with seeing it in my family.
Yeah.
Okay? In the fact that we went to summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we did had a godly spin to it. But it was still ordinary life. It was still ordinary life. What people are suffering from now is that they only feel that they can get even a touch of His Spirit in that building, and when they come out, it's like, oh, back to, the way the world operates. We break it up. We're like, no, come bowling with us, or come see a play, and it's going to be a bunch of your golly friends laughing, having fun. We're bringing that balance back, and that's important.
And 300, that's what made me cry, basically, because it was like, Chuck, ain't nobody doing what you're doing. And everybody gets turned down. Look how Don Diego was like, and I broke down crying when Don Diego just jumped out of that car. Then I explained that because I known Don Diego since I was 7 years old. And, like, his brother Carlos, Will, and he became my cousin-in-law, so that was really heartfelt with that situation. And, he was just talking to me with passion about what Steve Harvey, what Tyler Perry had to go through with rejection, and had me looking at the light of, basically what I'm going through with rejection. Y'all thinking I'm complaining and I'm crying and all of that, but all I'm doing is preparing myself for next year. So when I'm sitting here venting and things like that about how people don't support me, where will I be next year? So I'm talking about it now, and it'll be a reflection of looking back at it. Maybe it'll be on a timeline like my daddy is on a timeline, and I'm looking at my daddy every day through what he went through with his struggle of stroke. And if I didn't record that, which my family got mad at me because of that situation, but if I didn't record that, I wouldn't be able to see how my daddy recovered from what he went through or what he was going through at that time. So your ignorant tail don't even stop me. But
that's all.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. That was that's something we could talk about for my birthday. Wow. That was just a blessing. I just got an inbox about my birthday from a celebrity. That's so Scipio, if you still logged on now, you got plenty of time. See, that's why we can't get off. You see how Scipio is doing? Do you see what she's doing? People are viewing me. What she's doing, she shared the page and she's letting us know that her people are on here looking at us. And you're telling us that we got to get off. See, this ain't no concert. We ain't getting paid. This ain't no 45 minutes to give me $5,000. No, but whatever you want to do, God.
We got neighbors.
They need to hear it. The way they be cussing. Shoot. The way they be cussing and yelling and screaming and nigga this and nigga that and be this and be that and all types of stuff. They need to hear it because Jesus is in here. I'm a shouter. I'll go out there and shout the Holy Ghost. If you thought I yelled out there the other day because I'm in Greertown, I will show them I'll go out there and do the Holy Ghost dance. Well, what's my man's name?
Eddie McGowan. That's what you're talking about?
Eddie McGowan. Why Eddie McGowan why he ain't getting played like these Cupid shuffles and stuff like that? But that's another subject. You know what?
I told people to go start learning it so we can start playing it at our events.
But you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I think Tab is coming. Tab DiBiase is coming in the middle of July. For the Christian Lounge experience. Okay. So I think we're gonna promote the Holy Ghost dance. Yeah. We're gonna promote the Holy Ghost dance.
I know I'm gonna promote in a minute.
You can do the.
I understand we got all these people coming, but they can see the replay because I got to get up. It's time to get the day started. What time is it?
So can I? I gotta go to the gym. Holy Jesus, ain't God good?
All I know is
ain't God good? Cause I don't want to be your professional. If I get paid, I want to get paid being personal, and I'm gonna change the world. I told you when I first started Single, Saved, and Serious, I'm gonna change the world. Change the world or die trying. We love you, but God loves you more.